Ukraine has unleashed what appears to be its largest drone strike in months on Moscow.
Ukrainian drone strikes in Russia.
For decades, the world believed wars would be decided by fighter jets, aircraft carriers, and billion-dollar weapons. Then came Ukraine, and a $500 drone began destroying Russian tanks worth millions. Then came Iran's missile war with Israel. In just 12 days, Iran fired around 550 ballistic missiles and 1,000 drones. The Middle East burned, air defenses ran low, skies filled with fire. And now, in 2026, the Philippines stands at the edge of this same storm. A storm where the next war may not start with a fleet of warships. It may start with a drone swarm over Batanes, or a missile launch detected too late, or a sudden blackout in the radar grid. So here is the real question. If conflict breaks out in the South China Sea, what actually keeps the Philippines safe? Drones or missiles? Let's find out. Ukraine changed warfare forever, not because tanks disappeared, not because missiles became useless, but because cheap drones turned the battlefield upside down. According to Western officials cited by national security analysts in 2025, drones now cause 70 to 80% of all battlefield casualties in Ukraine. More than artillery, more than tanks, more than missiles. Read that again. 80%. Russian tanks worth millions of dollars, destroyed by drones that cost less than a used motorcycle. Soldiers in trenches are now hunted by small flying cameras carrying grenades. The UN reported that in 2025 alone, short-range drones killed 577 Ukrainian civilians. That was a 120% jump compared to 2024. The deadliest weapon in Ukraine is often the cheapest one, mass-produced faster than any defense can stop it. Although individually less destructive than artillery or missiles, the sheer scale and increasing frequency of short-range drone attacks have made them one of the deadliest weapons in Ukraine. This is the new logic of war. The battlefield is now a giant network of eyes in the sky. Every soldier can be seen, and whoever is seen first usually dies first. But Ukraine also proved one more thing. Drones alone do not win wars. In June 2025, Iran and Israel fought what became known as the 12-Day War. In that short time, Iran fired about 550 ballistic missiles and 1,000 drones at Israel. Most failed. The Times of Israel reported Israeli and U.S. air defenses intercepted around 90% of the missiles and 99% of the drones. But here is the catch. It cost Israel and the United States nearly $1.5 billion in interceptor missiles in less than 2 weeks. 28 Israelis were killed, over 3,000 were wounded, and 31 missiles still hit cities and bases, including a power station, an oil refinery in Haifa, and a university in central Israel. Iran's strategy was simple. Send a wave of cheap drones first, force Israeli air defenses to fire, then send ballistic missiles right behind them. This is called saturation warfare, and every military planner in Asia is now studying it, especially in China, especially in Taiwan, and especially in Manila. In modern war, the first wave is not always meant to destroy you. It is meant to blind you. Unlike Israel, the Philippines does not yet have a deep, multi-layered missile shield. That is a serious gap, and Beijing knows it. The Philippines does not fight a land war like Ukraine. It does not fight a missile war like Israel. It fights a maritime war. An archipelago of more than 7,000 islands, long coastlines, huge gaps in radar coverage, and one enormous pressure point, the West Philippine Sea. The challenge for Manila is not to invade or conquer. The challenge is denial. Stop the coercion. Stop the encirclement. Make aggression too expensive for Beijing to attempt. This is the heart of the Comprehensive Archipelagic Defense Concept, or CADC, the new strategy guiding the armed forces of the Philippines. In an island nation, The side that sees first survives first. This is why drones are now critical for Philippine defense. They can watch huge stretches of ocean every single day. They can track Chinese Coast Guard ships, monitor militia activity, watch artificial islands, and feed targeting data to missile crews. The Philippine Navy already operates VTOL drones aboard new offshore patrol vessels like BrahMos Raja Sulaiman with ranges of up to 180 kilometers. The Philippine Air Force has revealed its first homegrown armed drones, the AMIC fixed wing strike drone and the Maui rotary attack drone, both built by Filipino engineers under the Self-Reliant Defense Posture program. And during Balikatan 2026, U.S. Marines and Philippine Navy sailors tested the Firestorm Tempest drone, which can fly 400 miles, stay airborne for 6 hours, and even be built or repaired near combat zones using mobile microfactories. But surveillance alone cannot stop a fleet of destroyers. That is where missiles enter the picture. In early 2026, the Philippines received its third and final BrahMos missile battery, completing a $375 million deal signed with India in January 2022. Honestly, this is one of the biggest changes in Philippine defense in 50 years. The BrahMos is a supersonic cruise missile. It flies at nearly Mach 3, about 3,700 kilometers per hour. It has a range of around 290 kilometers. And it is extremely hard to intercept. The first battery is based in Zambales. From there, it can reach Scarborough Shoal, only 220 kilometers from Luzon. A second site is planned in Ilocos Norte under the Philippine Marine Corps' 4th Marine Brigade. Former Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana put it bluntly. He said the BrahMos missiles will provide deterrence against any attempt to undermine our sovereignty and sovereign rights, especially in the West Philippine Sea. President Marcos went even further in August 2025. After speaking with BrahMos operators, he told Indian media, "I've spoken to the officers and men who operate the BrahMos system, and they say we need more." But he also added an important line. "We are not gearing up for war. We are simply reacting to the challenges that we are facing." One missile battery can change the way an entire fleet behaves. This is called sea denial, not sea control. Manila cannot defeat the Chinese Navy in open battle. That is a fact. But it can make any move into Philippine waters too risky and too costly for Beijing to attempt. That is deterrence. Here is the biggest lesson from Ukraine, Gaza, and Iran-Israel combined. Drones and missiles are not rivals. They are partners. Drones find the target. Missiles destroy it. Drones provide the eyes. Missiles deliver the punch. Drones create awareness. Missiles create fear. This is exactly how Balikatan 2026 was designed. From April 20 to May 8, about 17,000 troops from the Philippines, the United States, Japan, Australia, France, Canada, and New Zealand trained together across northern Luzon and the Luzon Strait. For the first time, the Philippine BrahMos joined a simulated maritime strike. Japan's Type 88 anti-ship missiles also took part.
Balikatan is for you. It is an investment in our ability to defend our sovereignty, to respond in crisis, and to secure the future of our nation.
So did the U.S. Navy Marine Expeditionary Ship Interdiction System, or NMESIS, which carries naval strike missiles with a range of about 180 kilometers. And the U.S. Typhon system, whose Tomahawk missiles can reach 1,250 to 2,000 kilometers, far enough to threaten the Chinese mainland. Picture this. A Philippine drone spots a hostile warship near Scarborough Shoal. The data flows in seconds to a command center in Luzon. A BrahMos crew receives coordinates. A Japanese Type 88 unit on a hill prepares to fire. A U.S. NMESIS launcher hidden in Batanes locks on. That is the sensor-to-shooter chain in action. The future battlefield belongs to whoever connects sensors to shooters the fastest. And at Balikatan 2026, for the first time, Allied forces practiced exactly that, together, in real Philippine terrain. But this new power comes with new dangers. Asia Times warned in May 2026 that the Philippines is evolving from a treaty ally into a forward missile platform embedded in the US-led First Island Chain strategy against China. This is double-edged. Yes, Allied missiles raise the cost of Chinese aggression, but they also turn Philippine territory into a target if a real war breaks out. Small islands, limited roads, and few sustainment hubs could make launchers easy to track using Chinese satellites or drones. And there is one more weakness. The Philippines still does not have a strong air defense umbrella. Talks with India for the Akash air defense system, which can shoot down planes, drones, and cruise missiles within 30 kilometers, are still underway. Without that umbrella, every Philippine missile battery is exposed. And without strong counter-drone systems, even small Chinese drones could overwhelm defenses, exactly like in Ukraine. That is why one moment at Balikatan 2026 mattered so much. On April 27th, a U.S. Army Avenger air defense unit fired a Stinger missile and destroyed a target drone over a Philippine naval station. It was a small live fire test. But it sent a big message. Mobile counter-drone systems will be essential in any future Pacific war.
We'll start with the detection of unknown tracks through our early detection sensor. Sample is yung ating nasa likod na radar. Then, the tracks will be reviewed and correlated through sa tactical air control element or TACE. And once na consider na ito hostile.
So what is the future of warfare? Drones? Missiles? The answer is both, but not equally. Drones are becoming the backbone of daily, continuous warfare. Missiles remain the backbone of strategic deterrence. The future battlefield will likely combine constant drone surveillance, AI-assisted targeting, electronic warfare, drone swarms, precision missiles, cyber attacks, and space-based eyes. For the Philippines, three things will matter most. First, constant surveillance using drones, both built at home and supplied by allies. Second, credible missile deterrence anchored on BrahMos, with future systems like Typhon and Type 88. Third, strong alliance integration with the United States, Japan, Australia, and India. Because in the Indo-Pacific of 2026, no single country can deter China alone. And here is the scariest part. Future wars may move faster than any government can politically react to them. The world has entered a new military era. Ukraine showed us the rise of cheap, deadly drones. Iran showed us the return of missile saturation. Gaza showed us the permanence of low-cost conflict. And the South China Sea may become the place where all these lessons collide. For the Philippines, the question is no longer whether war has changed. It already has. The real question is whether Manila can adapt fast enough before the next crisis arrives. Because in modern warfare, victory no longer belongs only to the strongest military. It belongs to the one that sees first, adapts fastest, and makes aggression too dangerous to attempt. In the waters of the Indo-Pacific, that calculation may decide the future of an entire region. If you found this breakdown useful, subscribe to Indo-Pacific Report for more deep dives into defense, strategy, and the future of Asia. Because the next global flashpoint may already be unfolding in the South China Sea.